Hey VC, Big Star 1000 with a new installment of Revolutions, the series in which I showcase what I've been playing. And I've got a pile of 15-ish records. I'll try to stay within the 10-minute mark, 10-12 minutes, so that it's digestible. I might make a couple of videos this morning actually. I don't know whether I'll post them, but my internet is very slow at the moment for some reason. Anyway, I'll start. I was watching Chris Cole, and he showed this that he picked up this record, and so I was inspired to actually put it on. The Third Ear Band. What's the name of this record? Is it self-titled? Third Ear Band. I think it is self-titled. It's on Harvest. This is an original pressing. It's kind of what would you describe it as? Very progressive, a little new agey on the side. It's instrumental music from England. Great. Since I was in the tea in my collection, and I was picking that 30 band from the tea section, I noticed this record, which I bought a number of years ago. I would say maybe around 2010 or 11. I bought this in France. I bought this in Paris. And at the time, thinking it was a French record, I realized it was a French Canadian, Quebec prog record. The band's called Le Temps, which means time. And the record is called Ailleurs avec le temps, elsewhere with time, the time. And this is kind of a nice little folk rock, little progressive record from 1976, I think. I enjoyed this. It was good. I'm glad I kept it in my collection. And then, since I'm on French, and well, it wasn't French, but there's another record that I bought in the very same shop as this one, François Béranger, with Jean-Pierre Alarcène, who was in, I think, Wapasser, I think, Claude Arini, Jean-Loup Besson, Gérard Cohen, l'alternative. François Béranger was a French singer-songwriter, protest singer-songwriter. He was a car factory worker, and he turned into a sort of activist later. He worked for Renault cars. Really excellent sort of protest song. Again, a little progressive. 1975. Yes, very cool. I was watching Antoine from Belgium, and he showed that he picked up this record, and he said that was because of I inspired him, so I put it on again. The East New York Ensemble of Music at the helm, Bilal Abdurrahman and Amin Nooraldin. Stunning spiritual jazz from New York. Just an amazing piece. Just check it out on YouTube. 1974 on Smithsonian Folkways Reissue. I mean, don't even think about getting an original of this. It's not possible. I have quite a number of Polish jazz records or Polish rock records, but the issue with them is that there's often no spine, and they kind of get lost in the collection. You know, you don't see them. And so I was flicking through my collection, and I rediscovered this record, Breakout. The band's called Breakout. The album's called Blues. Blues, as in the blues. This is kind of a sort of typical heavy psych blues rock kind of record from the from the 70s, from its time. It's really pleasant to listen to. Not my favorite genre of music, but if you're into things like Captain Beyond or Black Sabbath, that may appeal to you. I like those bands too, but I don't know. There's something a little generic about some of those bands that I find that, you know, once you've heard one or two of those great bands, it's very difficult to get something truly original. But this is really good. Breakout by Blues. This is a Polish press. I think it's from 1971, I think. But I enjoyed it. Kieran, Needle Groove, was making a video about Wax Poetics, and I was saying in the comments that the day before he made the video, I was playing this record that he showcased, 9 Days of Wonder, 9DW, which I got $3.99 on the Wax Poetics site, and I think a few people bought it after I said that. Very, very cool jazz fusion, electro jazz fusion from Japan. I mean, not technically reissued by Wax Poetics, because this is from the album originally came in 2008 on CD, and they pressed it for the first time in 2009 on vinyl. So, well, yes, it is a reissue of sorts. So for the past week, I've been completely immersed in the Robert Wyatt biography, Different Every Time. Highly recommended to everybody who likes the guy. Amazing book. Close to the best music book I've ever read. So interesting and so in-depth. And obviously starts with the story of the band that he formed and got kicked out of, the Soft Machine. So I've been playing and revisiting those records as I was reading as the book was progressing. And this is Soft Machine 1 and 2, the first two records. The first one is very psychedelic. The second one less so, moves more towards sort of a jazz rock kind of vibe, although not completely achieved until 3 and a third and fourth, obviously. And this version of the band includes obviously Robert Wyatt on vocals and drums. Kevin Ayers was playing bass. Mike Ratledge on organ, and then joined by Hugh Hopper. And then later by Elton Dean. Very cool band, very cool records, just amazing. And it appears through the book that Robert Wyatt's greatest pain or failure was to get kicked out of Soft Machine rather than falling off his 4-story window in '73. I think falling off was viewed as a sort of a renaissance for him, like he just reinvented himself, which is very interesting. Whilst reading about Soft Machine, you read that they, in the late '60s they went on tour with extensive tour of America with the Jimi Hendrix Experience. So I had to pull out a Jimi Hendrix record, and very interesting stories on the road of how he hooked up with Hendrix, and how Hendrix played bass on a record, a song that Robert Wyatt wrote. This is a great record. I was going to pull not IU Experience, the other one, Electric Ladyland. My mind is the ladies, and I can't show it, so otherwise I get banned from YouTube. Fucking stupid. Obviously, I played a lot of other Wyatt pieces. Pulled out my single of I'm a Believer and Memories, which is great. It's just a really great pop song. Do I need to talk about Rock Bottom? Pulled out Rock Bottom. Played Ruth is Stranger Than Richard. This is a UK press from the early 80s, which I bought in London, and has the 2 albums, which is really great. It's on Virgin. It has the original cover, which I love, and this is a great album too. Ruth is Stranger Than Richard. But yeah, Rock Bottom, the whole story of Rock Bottom in the book is mesmerizing, to say the least. Absolutely fantastic story. how he went to Venice and he got entranced by the water. It's great. How he bought a keyboard there to play this. Well, I think Alfie, his wife, bought a keyboard for him. And then I also played this, which I hadn't played for ages, Don't Understand, which is his early 90s record. I have almost everything that Robert Wyatt put out, really. I mean, I could do a whole Wyatt video if I wanted to. There's so much to show. But this is a great record. It was kind of his revival record in the early 90s when he moved to Lincolnshire from London. Moving on from Wyatt, Champ Sound was talking about this record which he picked up at a flea market, and I was saying to him that I don't like the vocals, and it's true to an extent. I replayed it just to, but it's true that some songs just, like they're so progressive and funky, and sometimes you just think the vocals sound very generic to me. Like they just, I don't know. It's just my ears, I guess. But it's a great record nonetheless. It's a very, very good record. Thirsty Moon, German band, not crap rock, more like progressive German band with a funky tinge. But I love this record. It's great. I wouldn't part with it, but it's not necessarily the best sounding vocals or the most original vocals I've heard. Other things that I've been playing, this is one of my favorite albums of all time, Karate. They're Massachusetts, I think in Boston, perhaps, post-rock, kind of hardcore band. Really, really great if you like things like Slint. And this is a band that really sort of sounds... I made an entire video about this a few years back, probably 3 or 4 years back, Obscure Classics. There's a playlist on my channel. If you want to know more about this record, you can look it up. I also really enjoyed playing Interface by Helden. And the other day, it just blew me away. This is the Superior Viaduct reissue. The only Helden reissue that I have, really, but it's just an expensive record to buy as an original, but it's excellent. Richard Pinas, we know about Richard Pinas. My wife loves this record. Again, Obscure Classic from the playlist. You can look this up. Color Green by Sibyl Bayer. She was just a regular lady who recorded music in her spare time, and that these 70s songs only got released in 2008 or something, 6 maybe. Lovely sort of singer-songwriter. And then I finish off with a crap rock classic, Edge of Time by Dumb. And I want to give a shout out to Raymond Danks, who used to be... I'm not on Facebook, I say that all the time, I must sound like a broken record, but... So Raymond traded me this for a copy, my second copy of Yarendu by Rob Tomsitz. So I love this record, and Raymond, if you're watching, always have a thought for you. Great crowd folk, psych records, amazing. Alright, that's all. I hope it didn't go for too long. I think 15 minutes or so, that's not too long. Leave me some comments and interact with me, people.